Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on another episode on this beautiful day. But whatever time of the day that you choose to join me, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, but of course, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe and notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Of course, as always, no pressure. Do it if you want to. Now, I know that we absolutely are disgusted and irritated whenever we see someone switch up on us, when they get brand new. Case in point, whenever you see someone that you know, either at work or personally, when they get a new position, a higher position, they start acting like they don't know you. They start acting like they're better than everything and everyone else. Or whenever someone has access to money now, they have more financial freedom. And then all of a sudden now it's like, there's like in the Dave Chappelle skit, hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. All of a sudden they start changing and switch up on you. Or what I've went through personally, especially in the military, when certain dudes get around certain females, they start peacocking, they start stressed, they start doing all types of extra things that they weren't doing before, acting brand new. There's a pastor, he's passed away, his name is Miles Monroe. You should still check out some of his stuff. He said, you will see the true person when you give them access to money and to power and to sex. We can see it all. But see, even though I have this in the intro, I'm not talking about those people. They get more than enough airplay. Right now, I'm actually going the other route, which we don't really talk about, which does happen. I'm talking about when people actually change their mindset, when they have a certain level of discernment and elevation. I could start off with 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. Corinthian, I'm reading, of course, from the Hallelujah Scriptures. Verse 11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I thought as a child. I reasoned as a child. But when I became a man, I did away with childish things. We have to remember when we get older, we may not feel or think the same way when we were younger because we have a certain level of discernment through experience. Experience gives you a lot of different kind of education. It gives you wisdom for those who wish to apply that wisdom, because there are a lot of people who, even though they have an older body, 30s, 40s, 50s, they're still operating on a very childish spectrum. So you have to remember now, just because someone may get more discernment or have a new position, they have a new level of perspective. They have another level of actual responsibility. So the things that I used to do, I cannot do anymore. We also have to take into account, even ourselves. We may think someone may switch up or we may not hear from people again. Perspective is different. It's possible that I may be at a level where they used to be at, and I'm still here, but they have gone on, not because they're full of pride. What I'm talking about is when people have a certain level, an increased level of wisdom, of compassion, and patience now. It's totally different. You see, there will be people that want to stay here, but then you may need to go here because you got a new position, because you got more money to your disposal, because you actually have discernment now. You thought, you digested things. You understand that I can't operate here anymore. Now, people will want to keep you here because they're comfortable. We have to understand that many times, most of the time, people will change and hopefully for the better. Yes, I'm not talking about those as I spoke about in the beginning who abuse those positions, that abuse those new things. That's abuse, what I covered before. I'm talking about actual growth, when you actually apply wisdom, when you actually apply patience and compassion. Same thing when you look at how Yahusha came down. Now, many people felt that he should have came down and just smitten all their enemies. This is the way that man thinks. Man is lower, definitely, than Yahusha. Actually, in creation, man was made a little bit lower than the angels, and the angels are definitely lower than Yahusha. So it's really amazing when many people look to argue with Yah, with how he does things, because we try to bring Yah to our level. We try to compartmentalize him and put him in a box. This is what we do. When we find labels for things, we put them in a box, because a box is a real simple, stupid way to deal with things. So you automatically stereotype people. You automatically limit people. And here we are trying to limit Yahuwah Almighty, the one who made all of this, whose mind that we can't even perceive to even begin to think of how he thinks. But we are trying with our hubris to bring him down. So we feel we could do things better. So then we put ourselves on the same level. Yes, he made us in his image. Yes, he wants us to get to the point where we are like him. But see, again, he wants us to be like him. So that means that it indicates that we are not like him. We are not like him yet. So that means we have to give ourselves over to discernment, because let's just say on our level, when you're a manager or executive level, you can't operate the same way as an employee. Now, you could take the things you've learned in that experience, but you cannot operate in the same mindset. As the employee, you have a now broader spectrum of things. So imagine the creator who has a plan for all of you. He saw all of us before we were born and when we take our last breath. He knows at the beginning of all his creation and when everything is going to be done away with and reset. There's no possible way that we can just really be humble with ourselves and think that we can contend with Yah. Even though, when it comes down to it, whether we like it or not, this is his world. This is his creation. He could do whatever he wants. If he wants to turn you into a slice of toast and put butter on you, there's nothing you can do. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but we have to come to that realization. Yes, he'll give you the choice. He ain't going to force you. At the same time, you have to understand what it is. He'll give you a choice to be with him or not be with him. That's what our reality is. But he doesn't want us to have misery. He gives us opportunities because he sees the bigger picture. This is why Yahusha came down with patience, with love. Could he have smitten down all his enemies? Sure, he could have. He could have cleared everybody out who opposed him. But in the long run, though, how would that have taught people? Because his way is love. Love in the way that we clearly still do not understand. We struggle with understanding what true love is because we don't deal with that. We don't operate like that. We are selfish. We are short-minded. Again, we may feel that people may switch up and get brand new because we want them to stay on our level because we're comfortable, but not because they abuse their position or their discernment or their money. They understand, okay, I have a different perspective and I can't operate here anymore. I just can't. So we have to make sure we humble ourselves. Yes, I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about abuse doesn't have any place for patience, for real discernment, and for compassion. That's all. You can get more of my content on my website at brooklynbaritone.com. I got merch. I got other productions there. Something for everyone is there. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Give me a subscription. There you go. You can also find the audio versions of these podcasts on Amazon, Apple, and Google. I air on public Brooklyn cable television 4 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I helped give you guys a bit more in tune for how you're supposed to move. Anyways, you hear from me next time. Walk good.